Seems like there's never a dull moment in this world, and just when you think you've heard it all, you really didn't hear it all until now, maybe. And that is something that goes up must come down, right? And something that's already up in the sky, if it's close enough to the gravitational pull of the Earth, it's coming to Earth. Well, a situation happened with homeowners in Naples, Florida, where they got a notification on their Ring camera of some loud noise that got their attention, and they wanted to find out what was going on. So they discovered something when they got back to their house, and that is that something had crashed through their roof and several floors of their house. Now, what could possibly have fallen into their house that could penetrate the roof and several floors? Whatever it is, definitely had a very high velocity. It had to be pretty fast in order to be able to penetrate those several layers of the house. And there's speculation saying that this particular object, this cylindrical shaped object, had come from the space station. There is a crate of batteries that are this cylindrical shape, each one of them. And based on the evidence that was left behind when the homeowners went back home, they saw this cylindrical shaped object at ground zero in their house. And so they took pictures of it and they started inquiring on what that was. And then now there's speculation out there that it could be from the space station, and NASA's investigating it to see what was the cause of this object to fall into the house. And now, is this indeed a battery from the space station? So they're looking into all of that. So there are some mysteries when it comes to that situation. I would have thought that if something would have fallen from a satellite or a space station and traveled that far, that by the time it reached the roof of the house, it would have already had disintegrated beforehand. It would have burnt up. Considering that the material that makes up the batteries could be potentially flammable when heat is applied to it, you would think that once it reached a certain temperature due to the velocity, that it would have accelerated the process of it burning. And looking at the picture of it, it looked like it was fossilized. It looked like it just burnt into a solid char, like it just didn't fall apart. And the hole in the house, it's quite evident that this was flying very fast. So my question is, what is the cause of that? Was it the space station? What could have had a velocity that fast, but yet not disintegrate upon arrival into the Earth's atmosphere? Now, there has been a lot of speculations of UFO sightings and alien sightings in Florida, and it seems like Florida is one of the hotspots for that kind of thing. There has been a lot on the news and just a lot of things circulating in social media about these supposed alien encounters and UFOs and this other crazy phenomenon that just seems to be happening a lot in Florida. There is the Kennedy Space Station that is in Florida, and there could be a lot of things that could be witnessed when it comes to space shuttle launches and landings, and there's just a lot of things happening there. And it just seems to be an area where people notice a lot of UFOs. Now, some of that could be because of launches and other things happening, but a lot of these launches you'll know about, they're scheduled, but are they all scheduled? Are they all making public announcements about it? Is there anything that's happening that we don't know about? The thing is, people see a lot of these unidentified flying objects in Florida. Now, I live down here in South Georgia, and I've seen some of these things myself and wondering, okay, what's going on? And I remember 30 years ago, I've seen, I know it was 40 years ago. That's how time flies. I saw what I believe was an alien ship. It was a UFO zigzagging in the sky. So I've seen things like that before. So I'm a believer in these things. So what worries me is living close to Florida, and I worry for people living in Florida, especially if you're anywhere where you can be dealing with objects falling from space. Supposedly, allegedly, the space station dropped some batteries, some debris. Now, they do some disposal of equipment and parts and batteries and all the things associated with satellites and the space station, but things are done in a controlled manner to where you're not going to have something crash through your house. Now, having this happen just makes me wonder what's involved and why did it happen? Was this an oversight? Was this a malfunction? Was this not even related to the space station? It's just coincidental that it looks similar to the shape of the batteries that were in the crates that were being disposed or supposedly being disposed. That's the big thing. This is all speculative, but the pictures of the homeowner's damage, the object that fell through the roof and several floors, that seems legit to me. And I'm just thrown back by it. And there was actually a family member in that house that could have, let's just say, perished that day. If something came to your house and broke through the roof and several floors and you happen to be right in the path of that in your own home, it didn't go through those layers of floors. What do you think it's going to do when it hits your head? So, yeah, person's lucky. They're still around. So there's damages. Now, who covers the damage? Think about homeowners insurance policies. You know, there's going to be limitations and exclusions now. Read the fine print. Is there going to be anything that excludes space debris, comets, meteors, rockets, anything like that, missiles? Like, is there going to be some kind of an exclusion that's going to prevent you from being paid for damages or being able to file an insurance claim? Because, you know, there are exclusions that exist, and you got to really read the fine print to make sure you're covered before you have the assumption that your house is covered if a meteor falls to your roof or a battery falls out of the sky and crashes to your roof. That's just crazy to think about that. So it makes you wonder, is it really safe moving to Florida? You know, I live in South Georgia, so I feel like I'm pretty close to the danger zone or supposed danger zone, the way everybody is, you know, talking about this and that. I don't know. The speculation of aliens and speculation of this, speculation of that. It makes me wonder. But I mean, every day you wake up, there's a gamble. You know, anything can happen. It could be the biggest celestial event. I mean, we can have a big comet come to Earth or whatever, big asteroid come to Earth and end all civilization. Anything can happen. So it's just not limited to Florida. But the probability of seeing UFOs or having alien encounters seems to be higher based on all the speculation and rumors spreading about what has been witnessed by residents in Florida. So, you know, makes you wonder. When you go on a family vacation to Florida, are you going there to maybe go to Disney or go to one of the many nice beaches? Or are you going there to go sightseeing for UFOs and see if you can find any aliens? Because it might be on the agenda these days, you know, instead of the other options. Now it's like, oh, it's a tourist site for aliens and UFOs. We're going to Florida so we could see some aliens, you know. Let's go to Miami Mall, Bayside Marketplace, you know. Remember back in January, there was a lot of speculations about alien sightings in Miami. Like, wow, yeah. All I could think about is that, you know, the Kennedy Space Station in Florida. Just think about where that location is in Titusville, you know. Sometimes I pronounce that word wrong. You get in trouble. You gotta watch how you pronounce that. You go around the wrong person saying it the wrong way. You might get slapped in the face. I don't know. But yeah, so there's no telling what's going on that's not being published, you know, publicly. Could be launches, other things. You know, they launch satellites and everything. This is how we have the technology we have today. You know, without satellites, we wouldn't have most of the technology to communicate around the world. So, you know, satellites make it possible, but they don't last forever. They have a lifespan. You know, between the mechanical parts, the photovoltaic parts, the batteries, you know, all these things have a lifespan, the electronics in it. You know, they build these things to withstand the abuse of solar radiation, you know, from the sun. So there can be limitations and things are going to last a certain time and they need to be serviced. Things need to be replaced. And sometimes things are just so outdated that it's just time for a whole new refresh or, just launch a new satellite and start fresh. Things change. This is the way our technology is. So you never know what's floating up there that's decommissioned, that one day, say if a meteor flies by or something and hits it and then puts it into propulsion and now it heads towards Earth. You never know. Anything could disrupt a path or something. It could just stay there orbiting the Earth. You can have some other object that collides with it and causes it to start to move towards Earth. And then it falls into our gravitational pull. And then you find a satellite in your backyard, like what the hell? Things like this can happen, And that's a scary thought. Having something small like a 2-liter Pepsi bottle, a 2-liter cylindrical shaped Pepsi, think about that. That's what that object looked like a Pepsi bottle, the battery, whatever it may be. And so imagine something, hundreds of times larger than that, or 1,000 times larger than that, coming crashing towards Earth or into your house. Think about the kind of damage that would cause. That's what's scary. About all these things in space orbiting around the Earth, satellites and just other space garbage and other space debris that's just up there. There are controlled disposals that go on, that keep us from being hurt from space debris, but there is no perfect science. There's always going to be error. There's always going to be an issue. Nothing is 100% foolproof. And so that's what we have to keep in mind every day we wake up, that there's no guarantee in life with anything. You're here one day, gone the next. You can come home and find holes in your roof because of either giant golf ball size hail that penetrated your shingles and then your roof rotted after several months of rain. Because some of you may have Airbnbs or you might have a house somewhere in Florida that you go to in the winter months, your snowbird house, and you may not have anybody there that's staying there and it's vacant and damage can happen. So there's no telling. Or you can have a meteor crash through your house. You can be walking down the street and in like 10 feet in front of you, something falls down to the ground from the sky, puts a hole in the ground, smoke coming out of the ground, and you're right there. If you'd have been like 10 feet ahead, you could have been, I don't even want to think about what could have happened, but yeah, it's a scary world we live in. You walk outside, you look up in the sky, and you see something. Do you have enough of a lead to get away from it? Do you have anywhere to go? I mean, if a cylindrical shaped object the size of a 2-liter Pepsi bottle or Coke bottle, whatever you want to, Sprite, whatever, falls through the roof of your house and several floors down to ground zero, just think about where you'd have to be if something as big as a friggin' satellite decides to fall through your house. I don't think there's going to be any safe place in your house, especially if you live in Florida, right? Or even here in Georgia. When you're on the south side of the frost line, especially if you get closer to the shore, many houses don't have basements. Majority of houses don't have basements. So you don't have that extra level of protection, especially if there's tornadoes or any kind of crazy weather like that. There is no extra protection. So you got to consider that as well. Besides the added storage space in your house, potentially having a basement. Not having a basement could be scary if you live in an area that's prone to tornadoes.
Sorry about that.
I don't know why that happened. That's mysterious. But anyway, I thought I would just share my opinion on it. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is from the space station? Do you think that this is some kind of battery that fell out of the sky from the space station and crashed through somebody's house in Naples, Florida? Or do you think this is some other kind of isolated incident? Could this be, some other kind of debris that's been in space for God knows how long and it decided to finally go into the Earth's atmosphere? Maybe something collided into it. Looking at the shape of it, it looks like it is missing some of its original shape, little original contours. So, of course, that could be from the impact of it hitting into the roof. There might be some more pieces left behind than what is shown in the pictures that the homeowners had shared. So I don't know. I don't even think you can wear a hard hat and be safe from something like that if it could penetrate through the roof and in several floors. I feel like there is no there is no safety gear that you can wear that's going to protect you from it, at least that I know of. So I guess whenever I go outside, I'm just going to keep looking up in the sky and make sure there's nothing coming my way, and, you know, hope I can move fast enough out of the way. But if it moves that fast, I don't think you can stand a chance. Anyway, comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Share your thoughts. It's kind of random for me to throw a video out there like this, but you know what? I was intrigued by what I saw in this article. When I was just checking some emails, and then I got a link to check this article, and then I saw that, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I've been hearing a lot about aliens and UFOs in Florida back in January and February, and here we are again. I feel like it's just, besides that, people on an airplane claiming to have seen a UFO. You know, Florida's, I don't know. I feel like it's becoming a real life Universal Studios. You know what I mean? Like it's real life Universal Studios. It seems like it, you know, but this might be the real version of Universal Studios where we're actually seeing some real legit stuff, you know, but whatever it may be, it's definitely mind-boggling. But anyway, there might be some other footage in this video. I don't know. If not, then take care and be safe and share your thoughts. I got more loquats. These are good. I picked them off my tree. I'm gonna eat them. Right there. Sometimes you'll find lizards in there. They'll be chilling out. Looks as though we have a crazy storm coming. High winds, possibility of tornadoes. It's crazy. All I can say is, welcome to South Georgia, right? That's what I get every year, huh? Crazy weather. I think it was last year we had something like this. This time of year, it's April 3rd, 2024 right now. Just walking in the back. The wind was so strong, it got my attention. I had to go outside and see what the hell was going on because it was crazy. So it's gonna get worse. This is the beginning of something crazy. So we'll see what happens. Here I am in the backyard where I have woods. That's the one thing that never changed. Like moving down here to South Georgia from the place I lived up north, the big house. I had woods in my backyard. You know, could put a shed back here somewhere if I wanted to, I guess. Interesting. But it's like the wilderness out here. Got to watch out for coyotes although they're not gonna bother me. You know, they're only interested in the cats, and chickens, and small animals. But I'm getting ready for the storm. I was just looking out here to see what fell, because I heard a big crash. It sounded like something just like crashed to the ground. I felt like this whole, I don't know, this felt like you could feel it. It's like a shake, like almost like a sonic boom. And I doubt a tree would make such a loud sound. So I didn't see anything back there. I didn't see any things in the ground, like any holes or craters. Because it sounded like it was right back there. And I've had a sound like this before where I heard something. I was like, what the hell's going on? But something's going on. Wind's getting crazy. We're in for something. We are definitely in for some crazy weather. We'll see what happens. It's quiet in there. All right, I just heard something again. I don't know what the hell's going on. I heard something. Let's see what that was. Something back here. Something's going on. I have to keep my grill, keep the grill inside here, because if I put it out there, I mean, I could tie it down right there. I can attach it to that, but still, even with that, I just don't want it sitting out there. We're going to have like heavy downpour. And I don't want the water getting in there, even though it's a Weber grill. I mean, it's not going to rust, but who wants water in the grill, you know? But I was thinking about doing a barbecue today, you know, maybe some smoked chicken. I could put some smoked chicken. I could take chicken legs and smoke it in there. Because there's a spot in here where I can smoke things, you know. I can smoke it with some hickory smoked chips. Maybe invite a few people over. If anybody's willing to drive all the way down here, or up here, depends on which way they're coming from. I'm waiting, see what happens. All right, I don't know what's happening out there, but something's going on. I need to find out. We got a problem out here. There could be a tornado on the way. That's what I got a notification, like on my Alexa device. So we got some damaging winds coming. Crazy storm is on the way. Plus, it's supposed to be like a cold front. So we'll see how cold it's going to be. I guess it's in the beginning phases of it. And then there's going to be some really extreme weather that's supposed to be happening as I'm standing out here, which might explain the boom. I don't know if that was thunder, but I don't know. I've never had thunder shake the whole floor. I mean, I've had it rattle the windows before. Hearing something again, but I don't know. This is crazy. This felt more like something hit the earth, like in the backyard. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. It's coming. Hear it. Oh yeah, the trees up there. Look at that. Getting green. Things are starting to turn green. That's the sign. That is the sign. Starting to turn green. I like that. That's a sign of summer on the way. Actually, it's been feeling sort of like summer lately. This weather has been feeling like summer. It's crazy. Like we skipped spring and went right into summer.